We are here for Racing Formula League Season 15 and round number 11 here at the Albert Park Circuit in Melbourne, Australia, and it's lights out and away we go. Who gets away well off the start? Let's have a look at side by side. Is it for first and second? Jatin in the Red Bull for Clempton, the McLaren, and Jatin keeps his lead for now, but what is going to happen down towards turn number 3? Is Jatin under pressure for Clemps? Is going to go for up the inside. It's not quite paid off though. Let's see what's happening further back, side by side with Vapid and Polar. Vapid puts himself up to P5 there, and it's nose to tail just behind him as well. Everyone slotting in nicely so far, and let's hope that we get a lovely Grand Prix ahead of us here. And so, as Lesko gets up a position, so does Alex there, but we'll look towards the front. Any sort of side-by-side action here on this first lap. We look through the field. Oh, it's Ben going for a wee move there on Polar. Didn't quite come off that time though. Round turn 14, and a couple of position changes further back side by side with Ben and Polar for P6. This is a little bit of wheel touching, and could there be Alex getting in on the action as well? He's having a look, and now it's side by side as Notorious ahead of Chris Lesko. Oh, and into a spin goes Ben. That is not ideal. We just caught the end of that. Jatin still leads the way. Chris Lesko though making up position P8 now. He is. However though, Verklempt is on the tail of Jatin. Verklempt goes up the inside, and Verklempt takes the lead of this Grand Prix at the end of lap 2 here. So, a very nice move indeed from the McLaren man, but the other McLaren not doing so well. They were facing the wrong way there. But now we go on to the start finish straight to start. Lap number 3, a fastest lap for Verklempt. And now let's see what's going to happen into the run to turn 3. A wee bit of a mistake from Verklempt through turn 2. Could that allow Jatin through with some DRS? Jatin retakes the lead of this Australian Grand Prix. Ben out of the Grand Prix early on his debut here in RFL. So hopefully he can come back stronger next time round. So we now turn our attention here to the battle for P2. Angelo's going for it. DRS open. Side by side through turns 9 and 10, but Angelo having to back out of that, and Verklempt picking up a 3-second time penalty there. So that's not going to be ideal for the McLaren man. Notorious there doing the same. That's a Haas stopped on track. Small Girl, what has happened to them? Small Girl has not had a good start to this Grand Prix, and they find themselves P11. Could this be the start of Jatin's attempt to get away from these two here? But Angelo's had a good exit, and Angelo is going side by side with Verklempt, and the Ferrari driver getting through for P2 now. Of course, on those hard compound tyres is Angelo. Into the pits there for Haas. Small Girl pitting and doesn't have a front wing, so we'll be changing that and we'll be putting on the hard compound tyres. And that stop would have felt like an eternity. The other Haas car is losing a position too because Lesko. Alex dropping down to P8 there. Back towards the front. Angelo is within that DRS range now. He's not allowed Jatin to escape that DRS range. And so we'll see how this battle fares here. And Angelo, fastest lap of the Grand Prix, a 19.7 there. Oh, nice wee angle there as the cars go past. However though, Angelo is going to have his DRS open, and can he possibly take the lead as they go side by side on the run to turn 9? Does Angelo take the lead? Yes, he does. Angelo now leads this Australian Grand Prix. I would say a wee bit of a DRS train forming in the top 8 obviously all behind Tom Gorian. So Tom with the straight line speed to stay ahead, but has a few cars waiting behind for any sort of mistake to pounce on, potentially there. Verklempt though is actually being caught by Tom, so Verklempt will now be in that train as well now from the V-Carb man. Tom Gorian is approaching and passing that McLaren of Verklempt. Tom Gorian up to P3 now. Kozlesko also making manoeuvres as well on Polar. So now Kozlesko moves up to P6, and now it is the two Mercedes cars together on track. Small girl hits again and retires from the Australian Grand Prix here. We'll look towards this group here because nose to tail between the two Mercedes cars. What is going to happen here? Going to stay as they are for now. What is going to happen next? Vapid on the tail of Verklempt. DRS is open. Oh, Vapid collides with Verklempt. Oh dear, the two of them heading into the wall. And that's not ideal at all for Vapid or for Verklempt. Vapid loses both his front wing end plates, and that was a little bit clumsy. I'm not going to put blame on one or the other. We'd have to see that incident again. But into the pits for Verklempt. He's going to change his front wing. He's going to go on some hard tyres as well. You can see there Vapid coming into the pits as well. Vapid changes his front wing and also goes on to some hard compound tyres. And of course Notorious having not yet pitted, and Verklempt being on some fresh hard compound tyres. So let's see what happens here. Alex into the pits now as Verklempt. Does he get ahead of Notorious? Yes, he does. And Alex now pits and goes on to a set of the medium tyres for the Haas driver there. Let's see out of the pit lane who's it going to be out on top, as Alex comes out just ahead of Verklempt, but Verklempt's got the better momentum out of the corner, and Verklempt will take that P6 position. Medium for Alex, so Alex has committed to a two-stop strategy here. Alex committing to the two-stop strategy, but now has DRS on Verklempt, and side by side they go once again, and Alex will retake the P6 position there. So Vapid has DNS on Notorious. Vapid going up the inside. Can he make the move stick here into turn number 3? He can indeed, and that is Vapid's Mercedes up to P8 now. Into the pit lane for Jatin. Jatin pits from second position, and it's on to some hard compound tyres for Verklempt. DNS for the McLaren man, and is it going to be side by side as Alex takes a slightly peculiar line on the run to turn 9, and it's Verklempt who takes P6, leaving a lot of room for Verklempt. There was Alex. I was a little bit surprised seeing him so close to that wall on the left hand side as we were looking at the right hand side for him, because Lesko is 4/10 behind Tom Gorian here. Angelo, of course, on those hard tyres, staying out. Jatin approaching the V-Carb of Polar, so in the battle for the lead here, Jatin is going to want to overtake the V-Carb of Polar as quickly as he can, and Angelo will want the battle between the two of them to go on as long as possible. So, speaking of battles, Kozlesko getting close to Tom, but still they stay as they are. Meanwhile, Jatin is overtaking Polar. I think Polar actually let the Red Bull man through there, so Polar not making that one difficult. So interesting one there. And now, so Kozlesko dives into the pits now. Is he trying a wee undercut on Tom here? So, Kozlowski pits from what was P3, and he's going to go on to those medium compound tyres. Jatin sets a new fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far. And now we have a look and see where Kozlowski slots in. It's going to be just behind Verklempt and Alex, I think. Yes, it is. Kozlowski slots in P7. Notorious pitting for VCarb. And it's going to be some medium tyres for them. And on they go. Meanwhile, Kozlowski has just overtaken Alex for P6. Kozlowski takes the position. Tom Gorian pits. Oh, Tom has sped into the pit lane, and that's going to be so frustrating for the Williams driver. They were potentially on for a chance of a podium, but that may well have just gone now. Polar also pits for VCarb, but where does Tom Gorian come out as? Kozlowski gets ahead of Verklempt, and Tom slotting in. Is it ahead of Alex? It just about is. And Tom is going to be fuming at getting that 10-second penalty. He just locked those front tyres. He just braked that a little bit too late. He was trying to go for it. He was trying to defend that undercut, but it has not worked out. Kozlowski is P3 here, so it's worked out very well for the Mercedes of Kozlowski. He is P3 with only Angelo to pit, and now he pits here. So Angelo into the pits for Ferrari. He is going to go on to some medium tyres, and the question is, where does Angelo slot in? What is going to be the gap behind Jatin, who takes the lead here? It's going to be a few seconds for Angelo to make up here. Let's have a look at the official timing. So it's going to be just under 5 seconds, the gap to make up on some medium tyres. And it's going to be, what is that, 11 or 12 laps to go. So we've got a race on our hands. And we've got Tom Gorian right on the tail of Verklempt into turn 3. A little bit slidey into the braking zone, but Tom makes a wonderful wee switch back. Buddies get pushed off, and they have connected. And off the circuit they go, and back onto the circuit they now go. And now Verklempt goes through, and now Alex is just stuck behind in all of this, not able to go through. But Tom now will have DNS on Verklempt and gets back to P4. Of course, before we consider the penalty situation. Polar's close up to Vapid as well. Medium tyre versus some hards. Don't hit the back of them here, into the braking zone. And Vapid very slidey out the final corner. And is it going to be side by side? Yes, it is. And Polar through for P7 ahead of Vapid. Meanwhile, Angelo's already brought that gap down to less than 3 seconds. So Angelo really quick here on these fresh medium tyres, and he looks determined to take that top spot. Of course, with his championship rival Danny not being here, this is a big opportunity for Angelo to get some real advantages in the championship battle here. And let's see how he gets on. Gap's already down to 2 seconds. He's taken, what is that, 3 seconds out of the gap in 2 laps. So that is pretty good going. Fastest lap for Angelo. There we go. The pace is keeping on going. Verklempt and Alex both into the pit lane. So it's hards for Verklempt. And it's going to be hard tyres for Alex, is it? Yes, it is. And on they both go. They are going to slot in 7th and 8th. Angelo, the man who won the very first RFL race at this very circuit, could be on to victory. victory again here in Season 15. Meanwhile, Vapid into the pits. He is going on to some medium compound tyres. He's going to slot in behind Alex and into P8 position. Meanwhile, Angelo right on the tail of Jatin. DRS is open, and Angelo takes the lead here of the Australian Grand Prix on lap number 21. And with the fastest lap as well, currently holds 26 championship points here. And if it remains that way, Angelo will get an 18-point lead in the Drivers' Championship coming out of this Grand Prix. So there is the penalty situation, top left-hand side of the screen. And it's Angelo already a 1.7 second lead. In fact, there you go right there. Tom now virtually retakes P4 with the penalty situation being put into mind. So Tom Gorian just about making his way back to P4 here. Angelo crosses the line. He starts lap number 27 and is 3 laps to go for the Ferrari man. He's opened up pretty much a 4-second gap to Jatin behind, and he's done the strategy very well today. He started on the hard tyre, he stayed where he needed to be, and he's gone on to the faster medium tyre, and he's been able to catch and pass the Red Bull of Jatin at a vast rate of knots here in this second stint for the Ferrari driver. And so Verklempt on to the tail of Polar, and the two of them now going side by side, and Verklempt up the inside and takes P5 away from that pink V-carb of Polar. Oh, that's a pit stop, I think. Yep, Vapid pits on to the soft tyres. So Vapid pitting for soft tyres. So is he going for a fastest lap attempt on the final lap? Speaking of the final lap, Angelo starts that now. This lap from Vapid could help Danny ever so slightly, because of course Angelo currently holds that 1 extra point for fastest lap. Angelo would very much like to keep that point. We'll see how Vapid does on his next lap. And now Angelo rounds the final corner. He's going to cross the line to win the Australian Grand Prix and regain the championship lead here in Season 15. Jatin comes home for a P2 finish, and then it is going to be Kozlezko P3 as Alex gets up to P6, but Kozlezko crossing the line, and it is going to be P3 for the Mercedes driver. Tom Gorian on track for P4, but what's the position going to be as the penalties are applied? Verklempt across the line, P5 on track for him. Alex P6 goes up to P5 on penalties, and Polar now crosses the line. It's P7 on track. It remains P7, and now, oh, Vapid was on a fastest lap attempt, but he's now not got a front wing. So that tells you all you need to know about how that has gone, and it will be P8 for Vapid. Angelo is your race winner here in Australia, with Jatin taking P2 and Kozlezko in third. Tom Gorian was actually fourth across the line, so that is a bit of a mistake from the game there after the checkered flag. And then it's going to be Alex P5, Verklempt P6, Polar P7, Vapid in P8, then it's Notorious P9, Ashton P10, and then the two DNF drivers are Small Girl and Ben.